Eventually, all food storage will run out. Whether you have a lot or a little, time is against you. Every day you're going to chip away at it, and eventually it will be gone. So my goal this summer was to become more sustainable with my prepping. That means growing most of my own food and hunting for my own meat. And I just kind of want to show you guys what I've been doing, along with my friends and family, to make this happen. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my garden and other things I've been growing here in this video. Let me open the gate here. This is a homemade gate. It works, but it's nothing special. First thing I'll show you is some of the buckets we have. We have different types of spinach, including raspberry spinach, and lots of tomatoes in these buckets. Just going to go down the list. A lot of these we have two planted because we don't know if some will survive or not. We're also trying some of these growing planters that you see on TV. We've got some raspberry spinach on top and different types of cherry tomatoes on the bottom. Got some more chard, which is a superfood. I'll do a video on that later on in the future. Some basil, more tomatoes. This year we're planting mostly cherry tomatoes because we want to make a lot of cherry tomato salsa. In my opinion, it tastes better, it's sweeter, and a lot of times you get a higher yield per plant with those plants. More tomatoes, more tomatoes, and more tomatoes. Over here we have a dandelion, which I didn't plant. Rip that up. And right here, this is called the chocolate mint plant. When you rub the leaves like this and you can taste them, they actually taste and smell like Andes mints. You can put it in hot chocolate and lots of things like that, and I really love it. Really awesome. I'm not going to walk down the rows because I just watered, but you can see I have chilies, got jalapenos, serranos, poblanos, lots of Anaheims. Stuff I really like. Lots of plants. I can't remember how many we're planting. I know we have around 150 plants, something like that, not including corn, which we do have a whole row of corn. We're planting Silver Queen and Sweet Buns corn. Those are both great for short growing seasons, which we have. They taste delicious. In the middle we have lots of cucumbers. Excuse me. We have Japanese cucumbers, burpless cucumbers, lots of pickling cucumbers, stuff like that. More cherry tomatoes all the way down. I think we have one Roma, that's it. We really wanted to kind of stay away from the big stuff this year, because even though you get big tomatoes, they don't grow as much, and they're more prone to different types of parasites and bugs and all that kind of thing. Over here we have two different zucchinis, and that's all we really need. This ground is really fertile. The last 10 years we've rototilled different types of manure into it, and it only takes 2 zucchini plants to make you sick of them. That's a lot. We've got some more different types of spinach. We've got some cucumbers. We're going to use this kind of gate here as a lattice. Let me keep walking over here for you guys. Give you a better view of the cucumbers. Along the fence we have a lot of grapes. Right here we have a buffalo berry covered with grapes. A lot of raspberries on this back fence. And you can see all the way down there, all those things are grapes. So pretty cool. Now let's move over to some of the stuff that's not in the garden. Excuse the non-mowed part of the yard. We had a thunderstorm, so I had to stop mowing the other day. I just haven't got around to it. But anyway, this is a Red Lake currant. It's really the Rolls Royce of all currants in the world. It tastes the best. It's really sweet. Kind of like a blueberry, but much better. This one I just planted this year. When it's full grown, it'll be about 4 foot tall by 4 foot wide. You can see we're already getting some produce off of it. So very good. This right here is a gooseberry. I just planted it this year as well. Very tasty. It does have spines along the plant, so not a lot of people like them, but I love them. It's worth getting to them with the taste. You can see we're getting some in right now. Very awesome. And all the plants I planted in the yard are very cold resistant. This is my dwarf Bali cherry tree. It's really one of the best cherries for cold weather areas. Very hardy, very good tasting fruit. You can actually take these, you can eat them right off the tree when they're full grown. And they're not too tart, but they also are good for pies. So if you want to use them for either or, they work great. Probably the best tasting one for cold weather areas. Alright, here we have a rose. I think it's called the sunset rose, I'm not sure. It has some medicinal properties about it. I can't remember all the details on it. I'll do a video on it later on. It's a very pretty plant. This is a black raspberry plant. A lot of people call them blackberries, but that's not the correct term. These don't usually grow in Montana. I'm trying an experiment. This one I believe was transplanted from Oregon. And we're going to try it here. A few people have done it and had success. So that's what I'm going to try. And I don't think I will get any fruit from it this year. But it's still worth growing, and it'll probably expand, hopefully, like other raspberry bushes. This right here is the only tree I'm having trouble with. It's a peach tree. It's supposed to be good for the area, but as you can see, we don't have much buds on it or anything. It hasn't sprouted up, so I'm going to give it to the end of the year. If it doesn't produce by then, I'm probably going to pull it, transplant a new one. But it should have flowers on it by now. Right here is a volunteer berry bush that started up. It's really a kind of a really tart berry. I kind of leave it for the birds. I don't care for the taste. I know you can eat them, but it's not for me. Right here is a type of plum tree. And we always get plums off this every year, even though it's old and ready to fall apart. You can see it's been around a while. It's probably had better days, but I was excited this year because we had a little growth come off the tree here. So it'll start producing a new part of the tree. So that's great. This spring I went up to the mountains and I took my shovel. And what I did is I looked for chokecherry trees and I dug them up and brought them back to my house. And they started growing just fine when I transplanted them. And see, that's the biggest one. Here's the next biggest one. And some of these will produce. The bigger one does have little spots for some berries on it. But pretty cool. I'm proud of that they're still going. Of course, chokecherries are very hardy and they do well in most places. So I really have no worries about these. This right here is a bleeding heart bush. What I kind of like about it is the looks of it. But I've kind of heard that it keeps away a lot of different critters. So that's always a plus. I hate the way they smell. They smell very rubbery. But they look pretty cool in the spring. I have a couple fall gold raspberries, which are very good for eating. When they're done growing, they're a full, like deep yellow color. They're great just to pick off the plant. I've never cooked anything with them, but they're good enough for me just right off, so that's what I use those for. I have a strawberry patch started right here from last year. A lot of these I picked up and transplanted. And yes, I know I gotta weed this, I just haven't got around to it. You guys have seen this before in a previous video. You can see I transplanted blueberries into this raised bed box. And then in the middle I have some strawberries that were up front. And then some more blueberries. Anytime you grow blueberries, you need to grow them in pairs. And sometimes you can like interbreed them with different types of blueberries. Like here I have Chippewa and Patriot blueberries. One kind of grows in the mid-spring and one kind of grows in the midsummer. They're both awesome. You can see that box is doing very well. This is one of the pine trees I have, and I know it doesn't seem like something that you'd want to be eating. But truth be told, you can put this in tea, and it's one of the highest producing plants for vitamin C. They can keep away scurvy. So just keep that in mind. Pine trees are always good to have around. This is something I'm really proud of. This is my Boyne raspberry patch. I started it this year, and when they're full grown, they'll be about 5 foot tall or so. And Boyne raspberries are very hardy. They taste great just off the plant, or you can cook with them. They're high sources of antioxidants and vitamin C and different types of nutrients you might need in a long-term survival situation. So very cool and very tasty. You can see I planted 10 plants to start. Now I have 17 because of the spread. And I planted these around April or March, somewhere around there. They're doing well. I know I need to weed this, but it looks good anyway. I'll do a video later on and show you the progress. And next time it'll probably be weeded. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you saw what I've been doing. Do some video responses and show me what you guys have been doing. Rate, comment, subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later. Can't wait for those to be done.